How did your parents treat your siblings when you weren't around? I came home from college for winter break, and my 12-year-old sister Juliana, who has cerebral palsy, looked like a completely different person. She'd lost so much weight I could see her bones through her shirt. When I tried to hug her, she flinched away from me and wouldn't make eye contact. My parents said she'd been going through a difficult phase and refusing to eat. I went to Juliana's room that night to talk to her alone, and what I found made me sick. She was lying on a bare mattress with no sheets, and her wheelchair was nowhere in sight. When I asked where her chair was, she started crying and signed to me that mom and dad put it in the garage as punishment when she had accidents. Juliana couldn't get to the bathroom without her chair, so of course she had accidents, which meant she never got her chair back. She'd been crawling to the bathroom for months, and sometimes she didn't make it in time, which led to more punishment. I found out they'd been leaving her in her room for days at a time with just crackers and a water bottle, telling people she was too difficult to bring to family functions. My parents, who posted inspirational quotes about special needs awareness on Facebook, had been locking their disabled daughter away like a shameful secret. Juliana signed that they only cleaned her up when they knew someone was coming over. She developed infected bed sores from lying in the same position for hours because she couldn't move without help. I confronted my parents, and my mother actually said, "You don't understand how hard she's been while you were at school. She's been deliberately defiant." My father added that Juliana had been manipulating everyone with fake tears, and they had to use tough love. Tough love. They called starving their disabled child tough love. I asked why Juliana was so skinny, and my mother said she'd been refusing to eat as a power play. I found Juliana's medical alert button in my father's desk drawer, the one she was supposed to have for emergencies. He'd taken it because she was using it for attention. She'd had a seizure alone in her room and couldn't call for help, just had to wait until someone decided to check on her hours later. My parents had canceled her physical therapy appointments because they said she wasn't trying hard enough to deserve them. They'd pulled her out of her special needs program because it was too much hassle to drive her there. This child who used to laugh at everything, who loved school and her friends, was now a ghost of herself. I called CPS and the caseworker came out, but my parents put Juliana in her chair and coached her on what to say. They'd cleaned her up and put her in nice clothes and suddenly acted like concerned parents. The caseworker noted that Juliana seemed shy but healthy, and that the home was appropriate. My parents told her I was a dramatic college student who didn't understand the challenges of raising a special needs child full-time. The caseworker actually lectured me about how hard it was for parents and how I should be more supportive. After she left, my father told me if I called anyone again, they'd send Juliana to a state facility where she'd be someone else's problem. My mother said they'd already looked into it and found a place that would take her, and maybe that would be better for everyone. They were threatening to institutionalize my sister to keep me quiet. I snuck into their room and found emails between them discussing how much they'd save if Juliana was in state care, how they could finally travel again, how unfair it was that they were stuck with her. They'd been planning this neglect, hoping she'd get sick enough that they'd have an excuse to institutionalize her. One email from my mother said, "If she gets any worse, we can say we can't handle her medical needs at home." They were deliberately letting her deteriorate. I found Juliana's teachers' emails begging for meetings about Juliana's absences, all ignored. I found doctor's appointment cards for checkups that were never attended. They'd been medically neglecting her for months, documenting nothing, so there was no paper trail. Juliana signed to me that she wished she would die so she wouldn't be a burden anymore. My 12-year-old sister wanted to die because our parents had convinced her she was worthless. She asked me if I could take her with me back to college, and I had to explain that I lived in a dorm and couldn't care for her. The look of despair on her face broke something inside me. My parents held all the legal cards as her guardians, and they knew it. I spent the rest of break secretly documenting everything and reaching out to disability lawyers. What I was about to do to my parents would destroy our family, but they'd already destroyed Juliana, meaning I felt not an ounce of remorse. Full story on the channel below.